guys, I hope you all are doing awesome. Today's video obviously is going to be training horses do's and don'ts. As you guys know, I have trained all of my own horses, well except for BB. But I've trained Soccer and Sugar, and I have had project horses in the past, and I train horses for my job. And so, I mean, I'm 16, so I don't have like years upon years upon years of experience, and you know, I'm not very old, but that honestly, I don't feel like that afflicts my my advice on training horses, because I have been doing it for a long time. I've done a lot of different horses, and these are just my personal opinions on things that you should and shouldn't do when you're starting and training your own horse. So I know some people have done these videos in the past, but this is all straight out of my own brain, just things that I thought that you should and should not do. So if you're thinking about starting your own horse or training a horse, then keep these things in mind maybe when you start jumping into the training aspect of riding. So your first do, I think, is knowing what you're doing. You don't really want to just jump in and have no clue what's going on. Just no idea what to do with horses. You could really get hurt, and I don't want to see any of you guys get hurt. That's, you know, it's a very common thing with horses. That's why a lot of people don't ride or don't let their kids ride, because you need to know what you're doing or have somebody with you that knows what they're doing, so you don't get hurt, so you don't hurt your horse, so you don't end up teaching your horse something that you're going to regret later. I personally could have taught my horses a lot more things or done a lot more things with them that would have made them better horses now that I didn't do when I was younger, because I didn't really know what I was doing. Now that I'm older and I do know what I'm doing more, I can teach horses this and that to make them better horses down the road. So know what you're doing, have someone with you to give you advice, and who know what they're doing if you're new to training horses. Second is an open mind. Open your mind. You never, I don't want to say never, but I don't like to go into training horses with, this is what I want this horse to do, and my horse is going to be great at this, and I'm going to train him to do this. Because when you go in like that, and if it doesn't work out, or if you end up being disappointed later, it sucks, and most of the time you end up just selling the horse because this horse doesn't do what you want it to do, or it doesn't fit the criteria for a certain sport or whatever you want to do. Such as when I had Luna, I just wanted to train Luna to be a riding horse, just to be a rideable horse. And from there, I could sell her and the new owner could take her in any direction. The new owner bought her and said, I'm going to make this horse into a barrel horse. Well, Luna didn't really want to do barrels. She learned barrels, but her heart really wasn't in it. I mean, I wasn't there, so I don't know how fast she was, but the owner contacted me and she said, Luna really isn't into barrels, so I think I'm going to sell her. And I said, you know, well, I didn't say it, but that's the kind of thing you want to go into when you're training a horse. Keep an open mind until you see what this horse is good at and what he isn't good at, and you can go from there and build on top of what this horse is great at, such as yourself. If you are terrible at running, such as I am, if you are a very slow runner, you're not just gonna like join track or cross country and be like, you know what, I'm a great runner, I'm gonna be a great runner, so I'm joining this, because I'm not a great runner, so I would never do that. Start on the ground. Oh my gosh, I used to work at a ranch, and this ranch would teach their horses to put the saddle on, then they would start to get on them and teach them to walk around and be ridden, and these horses had no respect from the ground. They did not respect you or have any manners when you were on the ground handling them. Start on the ground. Start with desensitizing, lunging, you know, basic commands like backing up, turning around. Always just start from the ground. You want your horse to respect you from the ground before he respects you on his back. Because if he doesn't respect you just being here and just being a human on horse, and respecting the relationship you guys have, there's no way he's going to respect you on his back, in his personal space, telling him what to do, giving him all sorts of commands. So those are the 3 basic do's that I think you should consider when training your horses. I'm gonna go into don'ts. My first don't is don't be afraid of discipline. I can't stand these days how some people don't hit their horses, and I don't mean like punching them or anything, but they don't hit or swat their horses, or what do I want to say? They don't attack a problem. When your horse is being extremely disrespectful, if they try and bite you, if they're bucking, or if they're plowing into you, not caring where your space is or where you're at, or being just assholes. I hate when people are just like, gosh dang it, Charlie. Like, no, you need to swat that horse and teach him manners and respect, just like my mom did when I was little. If I backtalk or was a little brat, she would spank me or something, because that's how you make a good horse. My horses, Sugar does not bite me. She used to bite all the time, and no way would she do that now. So I do trust her with new people or with kids, because she's been disciplined to the point where she has learned it is not okay to bite. It's not okay to bite humans and put humans in danger. My horses rarely buck. I don't think Sugar has ever bucked me off. Well, one time, I think, when she was getting playful. But Sugar has never bucked me off or tried to buck, because she understands that if she's doing something that's going to put me in danger, it is not okay. Now, I understand if she's scared of something, or if she's having a bad day or whatever, I get her moods, but I don't feel like it is ever okay for your horse to put you in danger or to put your life at risk. I understand horses are always dangerous animals, but disciplining your horse and teaching them what is and isn't okay and creating boundaries is the first step in training a very good horse. Don't go in with the wrong attitude. Far too often, and I think it's mainly like young girls, at least from what I have noticed, because when you're young, people often put you down, like, you're not strong enough, you can't do this, I'll go find an adult, go find your older brother. So a lot of times these girls go in with the attitude of, I'm on top and the horse is on bottom. I'm a cowgirl, I'm tough, I'm gonna show the horse who's boss. And those are the type of people you see whipping their horses and smacking their horses and ripping on their mouths and kicking the hell out of their horses. And I'm sorry, I stutter, I'm sorry. But it drives me insane, because those girls have been taught the wrong perspective of how to look at your horse. You don't look at your horse like it's your slave. Like, you're gonna do what I ask you to, when I ask you to, and you're gonna do it right. That is the that's just setting your horse up to fail. That's setting you up to get frustrated or pissed off or have a terrible ride. You want to go in to the training each day with the one-on-one, we're a partnership, we're equal attitude. And when you have that attitude, you and your horse will get along so much better. You will have just that same mutual respect for each other. And obviously, your horse is going to have to learn that over time, and you have to teach that. It doesn't just come right away. A lot of times when I'm working with horses, I get very frustrated, like with green horses, because, you know, they're little assholes sometimes. And you get frustrated, and you get really mad, and sometimes you have to just step away and take a break. Or if I'm getting really impatient and taking it out on my horse, I stop training for the day. Because I realize, Michaela, you're taking it out on the horse. It's not the horse's fault. It is never the horse's fault. And I'm just not in a good mood today, so I'm just going to stop here and we'll pick up a different day. Because when you have the wrong attitude, you have the wrong training. Don't start too young. So, I know a lot of people love, like, when they get their horse, they just want to train it so they can ride it. Well, if you start your horse very young, now, when I mean starting, I mean riding. Like, I'm starting Calypso, and she's probably over a year old. But you don't want to start riding them until, I mean, I want to say 3 or 4 years old. Starburst, I didn't start riding her till she was 4 when I started her. But Calypso, I definitely think you can start horses. You should start horses when they're very, very young. I mean, give them some time with the mom when they're born. But, I mean, after 6 or 7 months, you should be out there brushing them, handling them. You know, maybe even teaching a little bit of lunging here and there, cross-tying them, all that kind of stuff, picking up their feet. All that, in my opinion, is starting a horse. That is starting them for their future job. So you don't want to start riding the horse too young, because that can lead to so many health problems. Don't even get me started on the racing industry, because those horses have hundreds and hundreds of miles on them by the time they're like 2.5, and are retired and done by the time they're 5. So you don't want to start horses super young. That can cause back problems, joint problems. Some breeds, I believe, their joints have to mature and stuff like that. But yeah, you don't want to start a horse too young, especially when they're young. That's their golden time. Just like us, when we're kids, we don't want to be hammered with work and paying bills and all that kind of stuff. It's just let the horse be a horse for a little while. Starting them on the ground, sure, but riding them and showing and doing all that kind of stuff, I believe should be saved for the later years when your horse is mature. Don't rush, obviously. That is a great one. Don't rush. When you're training a horse, like if you have a project horse or whatever, you never want to go in and say, I'm going to have this horse done in a month. This horse is going to be broke out and ready to ride in rodeos in 2 months. Or this horse is going to be completely ready to drive and pull carts in 4 weeks. Because that is another way of setting yourself up for frustration or irritation or rushing the process. If you have a horse that doesn't have a fast learning pace, or if you have a horse that's very spooky or has been abused, you don't want to rush and say, no, I got to get this done in 2 weeks. Like, she has to be broke out by this time, because that is going to hinder your training ability so much. If your horse needs to take it slow, take the time to sack him out to everything he's afraid of. Take the time, if he's terrified of water, go across the water 20 times if you need to. Don't rush, because when you rush, you shorten things. You shorten your training. You make it quick and easy, and that's not how horses learn, is quick. Horses, you need repetition. You need time and time again, time under the saddle, miles. And if you rush, your training is not going to be that good. Your training's going to be half-handed, half-assed, as I would say. So if your horse needs time and to take time, take that time with them. Don't rush them and tell them they need to be doing this by a certain point, because odds are it's not going to happen, and your horse is not going to keep up with your pace if you're rushing them and they're not ready for what you're asking. Alright guys, those are my training horses do's and don'ts. If I think of any more of them, I will gladly make a part 2 to this video, but for now, that is all I have for you. Those are my thoughts on training horses and starting horses. I encourage you guys to do so. It is a great, amazing way to build your relationship with your horse. And it can be an awesome, amazing thing if you want to train your own horse. But you should do it with caution and with consideration of your horse, especially. So that is my video for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye!